Assalamualaikum. Today I'm going to talk about cash budget. Okay, if you read my message through WhatsApp, I ask you to read certain page number from your textbook. But I think the example given on the textbook is a bit complicated. So I'll try to simplify the cash budget by giving you tips, some of the tips that you need to memorize and remember, and you need to apply when answering the question. First of all, you have to keep in mind cash budget will only record cash receipts and cash disbursements only. Okay, cash budget will only record cash receipts and cash disbursements. Let's say, for example, if you sell something this month, but the payment will only be received next month or sometime in the future, we don't record the payment until we receive the money. Okay. Similarly, for cash disbursements, we only record it as when we have, let's say, for example, you have accounts payable, so and you pay your accounts payable for a certain period of time. After you have paid the accounts payable, you record it as cash disbursement. Another thing, when we record expenditure, we only record cash expenditure. Non-cash expenditure will not be recorded. The most popular example of non-cash expenditure is depreciation. Even though depreciation is considered as an expenditure, but it is not recorded in the cash budget because depreciation is a non-cash expenditure. So please remember, depreciation is non-cash expenditure. So depreciation will not be recorded in a cash budget. Okay. The example in the textbook is a bit confusing because of the way they put the words. So I will try to simplify the example. As long as you understand the concept and you can answer the test and final exam questions, it's good enough. Usually, the final exam questions or tests will ask you prepare the cash budget for a particular quarter or a particular period of time. So everybody knows that in a year there are 4 quarters. First quarter, January, February, March. Second quarter, April, May, June. Third quarter, July, August, September. And the fourth quarter is September, October, November. Even though you are asked, let's say for example, you are asked to prepare a cash budget for, let's say, for the second quarter, April, May, June. We need to know some information prior to that quarter. For example, we need to know, even though let's say you are asked to prepare a cash budget for the second quarter, okay, then April, May, June. April, May, and June. Okay, this is the quarter that we are interested in, but still there are some information prior, terdahulu, lebih dahulu daripada itu, that we need to know. Let's say for example, information on sales. Because why do we need to know prior information or information prior to the quarter that we are interested in? Because for example, for collection, sometimes is a collection of sales. Okay, usually we start with sales. Okay, and sales figures are given. So in most questions, there's no need for you to make a sales prediction because sales figures are given. So you will be given sales figure even though you are asked to prepare cash budget for April, May, and June. But usually they will give you figures on sales, including the previous period. Before April is March and February and so on. Why do we need to know the figures on the previous months? Because of the nature of our collection. Because when we sell in real life, when we sell something, we usually sell it with a combination of cash sales and credit sales. Cash sales is no problem. If you sell it in April, so you record it as cash sales in the month that it happens. Similarly for May and June. So for cash sales, there will be no problem. Just record simply during the sales occurs. However, in reality, of course, we don't sell the total. The whole amount of sales. Some will be on credit. That is utang. Jadi setengah jualan tu we will sell it on credit. So when we sell it on credit, we give credit terms to our customers or our debtor, orang yang berhutang, to pay for the sales later. Let's say for example, you sell something in February. So probably some of the February sales will only be collected in April. That's why we need to know the figure in February or probably earlier than that, so that some of these figures will be translated into collection in April or May or June. Okay, probably if you do not understand, it's okay, because once you attempt past semester questions, it will become clearer. In cash budget, there are certain parts of cash budget. So there are mainly three parts of cash budget. The first part is sales. Sales are given. Sales figures are given, so no problem here. And then after sales, so this you just plug in the numbers here. And then after sales, there are collections or receipts. Penerimaan. Receipts or penerimaan. So here, all you need to do is just to follow the instruction in the question. Later on, when we discuss past semester's question, things will become clearer. So you just follow the collection pattern stated in the question. Okay, so let's say for example, first month, usually it's cash sales, and then there are some portions of after first month and after second month and so on and so on, etc. and so on, etc. Okay, the main components of receipts are usually sales collection. However, there are sometimes you have to include dividends received and so on. Okay, the second part of the cash budget is the so after writing down all the receipts, and then you get total receipts. Total receipts. We have a total receipts here. Okay, the second part of the cash budget is the disbursements. Disbursements mean payment or pembayaran, or sometimes it's called cash outflow. So here sometimes it's called a cash inflow. Receipts is also sometimes called cash inflow. And so after receipts we have disbursement. Disbursements or payment, cash outflow. So here under the disbursements, the tricky part is usually the tricky part of disbursement is usually on the purchase. Because in order for you to produce something, let's say you are a production company, so for you to produce the finished products, you need to buy some raw materials to be processed into finished products. So purchases must precede sales. Pembelian mesti mendahului jualan. Sebab because you purchase raw materials, you process it into finished goods, and then you sell it. So it is impossible for us to sell something that we have not produced. So that is the logic. Why? Purchases always precede sales. Kenapa pembelian? Pembelian means pembelian bahan-bahan mentah, or the purchase of raw materials must always precede sales. Okay. And then the tricky part here is a bit tricky, is the payment of purchase, because once as if in sales, similarly in purchase we seldom buy everything on cash. Some of the purchase items we buy it on credit. So when we buy items on credit, the payments on purchase are spread out over a period of time, maybe over a period of 3 months or 2 months. This usually depending on your agreement or your arrangement with the supplier. Yeah. In the exam, all you need to do is just to follow whatever stated in the question. Okay, you just simply follow. If they say that cash purchase is a certain percentage, and then 1 month after and 2 months after, so just follow and record it here in the disbursements. So this is usually this is the tricky part. And then other than that, there are some disbursements which are fairly straightforward, like rental or utilities bills and so on. So these are usually fairly straightforward, and most of the time students have no difficulty answering that part. The trickiest parts of cash budget so far is the sales, collection, and the payments of purchases. So we stop now, and we will continue on the third part of the cash budget, which is the cash flow, the net cash flow part. Okay, stop here.